My name is Jennifer Lentz, and this is my Pechakucha presentation for my scholarship artifact for portfolio number 3, summer 2022 for the California University of Pennsylvania Exercise Science and Sports Studies Department. My paper from DHS950 focused on exercise prescription and high-intensity functional training to improve physical readiness and reduce musculoskeletal injuries for soldiers on the ACFT and during regular PT training. So I chose to submit my paper to TSAC. Chose TSAC because it is the National Strength and Conditioning Association's peer-reviewed online journal that is specifically designed for the tactical profession. So it is for soldiers, firefighters, police officers, and it really dials into my audience. Some of the other journals that I was considering for publication, in addition to TSAC, are listed on this slide, but my number 2 option would have most likely been the Military Medicine Journal. Even though there were a number of options to choose from as far as the military population is concerned, I wanted to really dial in with U.S. Army soldiers and focus my efforts specifically to them through NSCA's TSAC report. Once I obtained the submission guidelines for TSAC online, I was able to see that I was actually in between windows for submission dates. So I had just missed the July publication date for their journal. As I was reading through the author guidelines and making sure that my paper was in line with TSAC's mission and vision, while also still fitting with my research foci, mission, vision, and guiding principles, I was able to come across information that shows that TSAC is a peer-reviewed journal. That peer review process typically provides authors with feedback and then a 2-week window to make edits and necessary changes to then resubmit for final review for publication. TSAC has 2 different types of articles within their journals, a feature article and then columns. My article falls more under the feature article submission type, and I prepared my paper to the format and style that they required. One of the biggest roadblocks in this process is probably just the amount of time that has passed from start to finish. I was unfortunately just too late for the summer journal and extremely early for the fall journal, so I'm having to wait a little bit longer. I originally reached out to Mr. Sandsteed from TSAC on April 25th, and I had not heard a single thing from him for 3 weeks, which is when I finally reached out again, and he responded the next day, which was promising. When he responded, he informed me that he had an available slot for my article in issue 67, which is due to publish in October, and he was sending me paperwork to sign and start the process of reviewing my article. When I received the email that he was looking to publish my article in October's journal, I was super excited and quickly responded with the most recent edited version of my paper and then also the signed TSAC author agreement that he had sent me. The author agreement that I was sent was a 9-page document. It contained a lot of information from the author guidelines that were found online, but then also some additional information. So I had to initial each page and then sign in one section where he would receive it and then also sign it. One of the things that was in the author agreement that was not available online was the submission checklist. So I was able to cross off some of the items on this checklist, and then the other ones I'm waiting for feedback from the peer review of my article this summer. In preparation for that feedback, I've been considering other journal edits. For my article, I've been looking at other journal options, and I've also been considering adding imagery to my article. I reached out to Dr. Revere earlier in the summer semester since she is published in TSAC and went through the exact same process that I'm going through now. And she gave me some good information on some of the timelines and things to expect and some of the expectations. And from those conversations that I had with her, I went back through the author guidelines and found that there was a lot of information around figures and imagery. So I reached out to Dr. West, Dr. Tom West, and asked him if he wouldn't mind taking a look at my paper and seeing where some imagery might be appropriate. As a backup, I'm still considering Military Medicine Journal as an option. They do have a student account, which I now have. It was a free membership. There is a student section of the journal that takes papers from students, but then there's also a reduced rate for regular submission to the article since I have a student membership now. I submitted so early ahead of the article deadline date. I'm having to wait a little bit longer for some of that feedback, and then I will go through the author review and revision period with a publication date of hopefully October 3rd.